Welcome to Ray Reads, a podcast where I talk about the books I'm currently reading like I'm in a sad little one-man book club. For this episode of Ray Reads, I will be discussing the book Cari Mora by Thomas Harris. The thing that I most appreciate about this book is how it discusses so many real-world problems, from immigration to human trafficking. Cari Mora has lived a life that can ultimately be viewed as a series of tragedies. She was forced into the role of a child soldier for the communists. Then, Cari's childhood is replaced with violence and misery, which she'll never forget. She eventually escapes with a boy, and they plan to marry each other. Her lover is then murdered on their wedding day for deserting. In her grief, Cari scars her arms on the broken glass of the windshield, leaving a visible reminder of this tragedy. Although all of these things still haunt her, they will never have the power to break her. I admire Cari for her strength and intelligence and kindness. She is so steady with her quiet confidence. Cari knows exactly what she wants, and really, her dream is quite humble. She wants to own her own home, nothing extravagant, and to rescue and heal birds. A simple yet meaningful life. She refuses to join the 10 Bells, to go out with Antonio, or to do anything else that would complicate her life. Antonio is married in name only, and Cari does care for him. He seems like a sweet and fun guy. When Antonio offers to give Cari the tickets for her and her cousin, it becomes obvious that he does not have a happy ending waiting for him. Maybe Antonio and Cari could have ended up together, rich and happy after this endeavor, if only he had listened to her. But that isn't what kind of story this is. This book, at its heart, is a survivor's tale. It examines so many aspects of communism and how especially it affected the children. It is tragic how many kids were forced into recruitment and how they were abused. Even with Operation Pedro Pan, not enough of these children had the opportunity to escape and live better lives. Cari lives in perpetual fear of deportation if her credible fear visa gets revoked. I think just about every character in this book was an immigrant, and that is so important to this story. I enjoy how this book runs with the legend of Pablo Escobar's long-lost wealth. Thomas Harris obviously has a fascination with real-life criminal mysteries, such as this and the case of Il Mostro de Frenzy, which appears in Hannibal. Here, with Escobar's legend, the story scrutinizes charity versus avarice. We have the obvious significance of La Virgen de la Caridad, or the Virgin of Charity, the patroness of Cuba, as she is painted on the rigged vault containing the treasure. I simply love how unaffected Cari is by riches. She does not desire money any more than any other normal person does. Cari has experienced poverty, and she has to work multiple jobs in order to survive. This poor woman considers taking an Uber instead of the bus as splurging. All these big players hunting down Escobar's gold do not need it. Hans-Peter Schneider certainly has no real need for the riches. His avarice is his downfall. And with everything that Cari does, and what all she has been through, it leaves us feeling as though Cari Mora had deserved to have the money all along. One minor detail that lingers in the back of my mind from this book is the instance where the song La Cucaracha plays. I called it a minor detail, yet it's terribly symbolic. This song, which was popularized during the Mexican Revolution, is about a cockroach that cannot walk because it lost its legs. It is a metaphor for helplessness. The song is aptly placed since these characters are nearly helpless in this situation when Hans-Peter Schneider gains the upper hand. I appreciate this song and its connections to power struggles. Chapter 35 is a weird chapter because it is from the point of view of the crocodile that feasts under the Escobar house where the treasure is hidden. This chapter seems rather random at first, but knowing Thomas Harris, I have to believe there is a symbolic significance to this. The appearance of animals at key moments is something I have picked up on in Thomas Harris's works. In this instance, my best guess is that the crocodile symbolizes survival and primal instincts. Though I do think that this chapter could have been better delivered. It felt like unnecessary filler in a book that is already too short as is. And that is my main criticism of this novel. It is too short, and it is therefore lacking in many aspects. This book does not truly have all of the things longtime readers expect from Thomas Harris. This is the genius behind Hannibal Lecter, yet he tragically underdelivers with his latest novel. Hans-Peter Schneider has none of the appeal displayed in Harris's previous villains. The only thing I can say about Hans-Peter Schneider is that he is a repulsive monster, and I greatly anticipated his death. Hans-Peter Schneider is an extremely disappointing villain coming from this author. He does not share any of Hannibal Lecter's intelligence or charisma. His tragic backstory with his family does not elicit any sympathy for him the way Francis Dollarhides, aka the Red Dragon, did. Hans-Peter Schneider was not a well-conceived character. Not a single thing about him intrigued me. It really is a shame. I think that this story should have been a longer book. All of the characters needed to be fleshed out more. I was only just barely beginning to give a damn about most of these characters right when they were killed off. I especially wanted to have more time with Antonio before his death. Altogether, I believe a lot more could have been done with this story. This book may have been a bit lackluster, especially in comparison with Thomas Harris's other works, but I nevertheless enjoyed reading it. Personally, I was educated by this story. As I read, I found myself researching several aspects to this tale, such as the Mexican Revolution, Operation Peter Pan, and communism in South America. These are what comprise the heart of this book, and that is what I appreciated the most.